Buying foreclosures, it's best to do it at the courthouse steps when the bank owns it or cutting a deal with the owner. The question, and I think nowadays, as this market is really heating up here in the Bay Area for sure, I don't know about other markets across the country, but I can tell you in the Bay Area, our foreclosure business is really starting to pick up. And I just did a video on the different stages of foreclosure. And we do a lot of work our brokerage does with the Richmond Neighborhood Housing, a nonprofit, in terms of getting people housing counseling and getting them tapped in what's called the California Mortgage Relief Program. Now, all of that stuff is for people who are in homes, right? This video is going to be for the purposes of commercial investment property. My name is Steve Peterson with Infinity Investments, and on this YouTube channel and anywhere on social media, we always talking commercial real estate and investment property. And so what is the best stage of foreclosure to purchase a property in? All right. Essentially, there's the notice of default stage, there's NOD, notice of trustees phase, notice of NTS, that's the pre-auction, the auction, and then REO, real estate owned by the lender or the bank. All right. So it's kind of 4 stages. There's 3 stages of foreclosure. Once the bank, if they take it back, now they own it. So what's the best? If you're trying to negotiate and get a deal, what's the best stage? Well, a lot of people have been real successful buying at the courthouse steps. But let me just tell you like this. If you're buying at the courthouse steps, you need to be a professional. You need to know what you're doing. You need to have a team. You need to be doing this on a regular basis because there ain't no contingency period. Ain't no, inspections. I found out the foundation is crap. I don't want this property. Nah. It's none of that. You come in with a cashier's check and you are paying cash and you are taking that subject to whatever liens are on that title. And you're also closing at escrow. You're closing outside of escrow and without title insurance. Now, surely you can go after close. You can, go get a title policy. You can do all these things, but it is a risk. I don't want to discourage nobody from doing that, but the reality of it is you need to be a pro or you need to team up with pros that do that, right? And here's the other thing about that. Is now you're going to be competing against other pros. Now there's groups of people who this is what they do all day long. And, they have a real good idea of the market, what prices are. And believe me, when they're buying at the courthouse steps, usually people are trying to get it and resell it, right? This is the world of fix and flip wholesale. Usually, sometimes long-term investors will buy at the courthouse steps, but usually long-term investors are going to buy at different stages. Now, I always advocate to try to get a deal done pre-auction, right? In the notice of default stage, right before the notice of trustee sale phase. Typically, there's more creative options available in order to structure a deal. This is where you can take over a mortgage subject to, you can do a wraparound mortgage, you can, get the owner's property caught up and then have them carry a second. There's a lot of creative options that you can work a short sale, right? Once the property goes into notice of trustee sale, now the window of creative options kind of gets a little bit tighter because a lot of times what the lender will do is they will call the loan, meaning that they don't just want the back payments. Now they file for auction. Now they want all that money. So at this point, if you want to pay them off, that is in commercial, it's a little bit different. Residential, consumers, that's different. We're talking about the investment world, right? When a loan is a commercial loan or investment property loan or residential property, lenders can call that loan. And once they call that loan, they want all of their money. And I've seen this a couple times trying to structure deals where we were just, all right, let me just come in and get the payments caught up. And the lenders were like, you know what, we've been through this long battle. Because typically, before a lender even files default, they've been trying to collect on these borrowers for quite some time. Lenders typically don't want to do foreclosure unless it's private money and they have a loan-to-own strategy. But typically, the lenders trying to work everything out. So by the time they get to notice of default, they are burnt out. So when they push the button for the notice to trustee sale, which by the way costs them money to do, a lot of times they just saying, hey, we want all of our money. Even this person catches up, we do not want to be back in this spot, right? Now, in notice of trustee sale phase, there is a lot of pressure on the seller. So they could, cut a great deal. And if you can do that, you can cut a great deal. Now, commercial real estate, particularly, I think if you can solve these problems, you're gonna make it work. However, man, it's always tough to negotiate in those situations with the sellers. A lot of emotions. When the property goes to auction, you gotta, all the risks we talk about, and you bidding against Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. Right now, when it goes back to the lender is motivated to get this thing sold. All right, all banks are. Residential, commercial, don't matter. But in commercial real estate, particularly, it can be hard to move properties. They're not readily saleable like single family homes are, especially if it's a big office building or retail. There's not as many buyers for that. Buyers are wary. The financials are probably out of whack, right? I've even seen banks at REO carry back financing, recast new loan just to get the property sold, get it off their books. All right, so this is an opportune time to create deals. But let me tell you, it is tough also to deal with banks and lenders, especially once they get with the broker and they go through their process, right? So there's an opportune time between when a property goes to auction, so it doesn't sell at the auction, and it goes back to the bank. Before they get it on the market, you can make offers to the lenders. Now, a lot of times lenders say, I got an agent, it's gonna go with the agent. But what's different here in commercial and residential is in commercial real estate, they will entertain your offer. I know this because I've done several deals like that. I've even submitted, hey, why don't you list the property with me? I'm a local broker. I know this area like the back of my hand. I'll get it sold for you. Nah, we're gonna work with someone else. But I say, well, what about if I bring you an offer? And sure enough, if the offer's in range, we talk together and we get deals done, right? So I think there's two real opportune times to get a deal done in commercial real estate in the foreclosure process. Right in that notice of default, right before notice of trustee sale phase, where you got a lot of creative options and you can help somebody out of a process, or when the bank have took it back and now they're trying to get it off their hands before they put it in the market. Now, once they put it in the market, if it's not selling, you can even make a more creative deal. But once they put it in the market and there's buyers looking for this, there's brokers involved, it can get competitive, but it's that window of time before it gets there. And if you're an agent or broker, you just write the offer, you build your commission into the deal, and you make it work. Now, that residential is a different world. We talk commercial real estate. This is possible. I've done it several times before, probably going to be doing it in the future. And I just want to share this information with y'all. There's a lot of misconceptions about foreclosures, distress. So I'm going to be doing multiple videos in the next few weeks about this as I see the defaults mounting up, as I see people looking for buying opportunities, and I see people who own properties just scared and not knowing what to do. So we're gonna be doing content for owners of property trying to help work out. We're gonna do content for people trying to buy this stuff. What we trying to do is we trying to be problem solvers. We're trying to solve problems and make transactions happen in an efficient and effective and responsible way, man. I mean, you don't have to screw people over in order to make money in this business. That's the thing I just want to keep saying, right? And the more education you have about this, you can protect yourself, covering your risk, but also you can create some great solutions for this. So I hope this was helpful. Tap in with me if you have any ideas or things that you would like to learn about this foreclosure process. I started my company in 2009. Right? So right in the middle of the storm. So I had a lot of experience in this. And now that it's coming back, I just want to make sure that I'm sharing that with y'all and that we're getting quality information to the marketplace. So to the next one, deuces.